And a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon to all of you wonderful individuals. How is everybody doing on this fantastic Thursday morning? We're going to take a look at Bitcoin and a few other things to trade potentially today. Glad you guys could be here. All right, so last Tuesday we did a bunch of things, made a bunch of calls. A lot of them came true, some of them didn't. I was unable to get in on that Bitcoin move we were looking for because it didn't tag the level that I was expecting it to tag. So, with that being said, let's get started. Bitcoin, $22,971. We had a nice little pullback. If we go over here to the daily, you can see that we did get the breakout that we were looking for on both Bitcoin and the SPX. There is your last daily resistance level at $22,562. You can see that we have pulled back into that and have gotten a slight bounce. Nothing spectacular though. In fact, it looks like to me that you're probably going to see a little bit of continuation to the downside. And actually, you have not tagged 22,562. So be careful about getting long right here. Obviously, your momentum is down and it's decent downside momentum. It's not the sideways stuff that we typically like to see. Like, you notice how, you were moving down here, but it wasn't with any like momentum. It just, just a slight pullback. And you got a lot more aggressive. And you will get a lot more aggressive the higher you go because people are starting to short. A lot of people were shorting at weekly res, at the daily res, at the 618. A lot of people were shorting down in here. That's why we got that expansion to the upside. You can see that this week is the first week we've been able to get out of oversold on the weekly. Go back over here to the daily and you'll also see that you did on this breakout. This was Tuesday, the day that we were looking to trade this to the upside. You did get the breakout above the 50 and you are setting pretty. Next potential support level would be down there at 21,618 spot 04, as that was the resistance that we were stalling at. See, 1 day there, 2 day. This was the breakout day, and that day was, or that level was retested as support, and Bitcoin got another move to the upside. All right, so let's go over here real quick and look at SPX. All right, so here is the SPX. Once again, we were looking for this to break out. On this day, we were trading right at this level of potential resistance. And I was basically saying that, if we get above all of this stuff, we could see this thing go to the moon or, get back up into this, back up into $4,000. Although we didn't hit $4,000, we are sitting at $39.49, and we do have a high of 39. What is that? $39.74. So couple dollars off from the $4,000 target that we were looking at, but we did liquidate the range, and the same scenario happened on Bitcoin. We did liquidate the range. If I pull this level up here to this swing high, because it's your last or highest swing high before the range started, you can see that we did in fact liquidate that. The midpoint of this candle is kind of acting like resistance. It's not the wick low, it's just the midpoint of that big breakdown candle. So if we put our fib retracement tool on that, it should be really close right there. So there's the 50% retracement on this down candle's range, and that's essentially where you found resistance. Midpoints can and oftentimes will act as resistance. That's why whenever we get a breakout, we want to see a big breakout above the midpoint. Right? I don't think that level or that midpoint is any or has anything in the back end. Let's go take a look at it. We want Alt H, not Alt V. Just give me a second. I just want to stretch this out and see if it has any importance. Where is it and what is it? It's just an old level of resistance, not a level of resistance, not an exact level, but it is a wick high. So let's just go ahead and put a line on that resistance and see what we get there. Oh, look at that. That looks more like it. Beautiful test there. And we got above it. Now we're pulling back. So, are we looking for this to continue? Yeah. we're getting into the area where we can definitely start to see, some shorts start adding into the market. Obviously, we know that shorts were already in the market. That's why we got the move higher. But the way this works is, if you get more selling than buying at, with the aggressiveness, because there is really, you can't say more or less buying or selling. It's more aggressive buying or selling because there is a buyer for every seller and a seller for every buyer. It's the aggression that those orders come in. That's where a price goes. As the market makers or the liquidity providers have to essentially see what it looks like. They provide the quotes, so they're providing the price points at which you can get entries. So, as price comes in more aggressive, they will start providing liquidity to the downside and vice versa for the upside. If you start to get bullish, you start to move up, then the liquidity providers start moving the spreads up. They start basically creating a ladder of price. All right. And that's what we got right here. So we'll see if we get a pullback. Yesterday we did get a slight pullback, but the pullback didn't come till afternoon. So it is what it is. The morning time, as the market opened at 9:30 in the morning, you did get that push to the upside. And then, later on in the day, it's when the seller showed up. Let's see here. So anybody that was trying to get short here yesterday was, probably more than likely got stopped out on multiple occasions. Because if I pull this down here, that's going to be your first intraday resistance. Once you got to close above there, that was your key to say nope. And then once again, this became resistance. And then this one right here closed above that. So that, those are just hints that you could potentially see more upside. We did get one final stab, and that's when the sellers came in. And so far, they have been pretty much running the table on this thing. So right now, intraday resistance, you are at it. You are fighting at intraday resistance. I don't like intraday resistance. So basically, the levels that I would be watching today would be that, for day trades, obviously, would be that level first and then this level. So 23,395.06, that's going to be daily res. And then today's open is 23,225. You got to get all the way up there, and that's right there. Let's drop off this moving average. So there you are. There's the levels. You typically got to get above this before you can do anything. If you are expecting this to be the support level, as it has formed a support, has been tested twice, and you have moved away from it, this is the level you're watching right there at 22,691. So what you would want to see is if you get a pullback down into this area, that would be the buying opportunity. First take profit would be this section of resistance, and then secondary take profit 23,225. All right. It's not a very big trade, and to me, to be honest with you, it looks like you're going to see more downside continuation just because of how aggressive this was. But you do have you are above the 50 on the daily. So you can look for buying opportunities. And what we want to do in buying opportunities is look for support. I did have the 21 up for one reason. I wanted to see where it was on the daily. You can see how you did get a very nice bullish push away from the 21. So, looking for a support zone. The actual support level that I like would be down here. But that's a long ways from near-term price. And typically, I don't want to wait for that long to get there. And also, if we got there within a day or two, it would not look bullish. So I guess, 22,562 is going to be old daily res. We'll see if it can act as support moving on. But your intraday support is going to be right above that. I mean, right above it. So you kind of see what the range is, where the market's working, right? If you're looking for shorts, you're probably going to be wanting to look to get short around 23,225, as that is your daily open and the last support zone. Right here, this swing low is what people are shorting against right now. I don't suggest it. All right, a wick will go all the way up to that level more than likely and then roll over. And obviously this would be your target. So it's quite narrow of a range. So it would look something like this, lining it up on the short side. Definitely going to be, bigger than 2 to 1 risk to reward to the downside. And then to line it up for the bullish trade, it would look something like this. Well, we'll just put it here, although we would like the entry down here, obviously, but not going to get that more than likely. So we'll watch intraday support, and from intraday to support to the next area of potential resistance, you're looking at a 2.6 to 1. So you literally got a little bit better than 2.5 to 1, whether you take a long or a short, as given you wait for those two areas that I just showed. So if you're looking to get long, you wait for daily support or intraday support. Looking to get short, you're looking or waiting for price to get back to the daily open. All right. That's pretty much it on Bitcoin. There's not a whole lot left to say. Unfortunately, today, I am going to put this in the Discord as well, but I am going to be traveling today. Got to jump on a plane, so I will be out of town today and tomorrow. Should be back Saturday morning, but we'll see. All right, so I'm not going to be active inside of the Discord today, unfortunately. All right, so let's see here. Let's go look at the dollar because, we did have a projection on that as well. We were looking for the DXY to pull back this week. If I pull this out here, you're going to see that we got that perfectly. Now, I can't say perfectly because when Saturday's upload was put out, this candle was already present. This is Friday's close, but we were looking for price to trade up either into the supply zone, which is right there, or into daily res. So these are the two levels that I specifically said to watch for short entries. You didn't test either one of them. So, make a big fuss out of nothing because there was no opportunity given. It did not trade up into supply or resistance to give us that entry. But I was already short USD JPY. I got short Friday. Still short. Well, I haven't looked at it. I think I'm still short. But you can see price did move away from that area. The dollar is bullish. You can clearly see it via this channel that I have. And if you look at the year-to-date chart, you're going to obviously see that you're bullish on the year. So getting short an obvious bullish asset is typically not what we do here. But there were a few things that were suggesting that we were going to run out of steam over here. So now that we're all the way over here, it does look like we're starting to get that pullback. But as of right now, it looks like that pullback was bought. So this was the daily support level that I just had up. I deleted it too quick. You can see that you did get a close below that level. There was the close below, and it did not act as resistance. It looks like price is trying to find either a higher resistance or looks like it's going to turn this candle into a trap. When is it a potential trap? When you take out the high of the trap candle right there, 107,627. We get back above that, then the only place you can look for potential shorts would be supply and then resistance. But if you get back up there in the next couple of days, it's not going to look bearish. But this still could potentially be an area. Price does that, right? It doesn't just move in a straight line; it moves in waves. Sometimes you get straight line moves, but typically you get ebbs and flows. So we'll see if we do take out this bearish candles. As long as we're trading under this candle's high, I still like it for downside continuation. Probably down to 105.47, and that would also put you down around the bottom end of this ascending channel or trend line, whatever you want to call it. All right. So keep an eye on the dollar. Still looking for continuation. Let's go look at USD JPY, and it's almost right back up to my entry. Once it tags daily resistance, I will be stopped out because my trailing stop is just below break even, and my entry was daily res. Let's go back over here and see. You can see how daily res lines up really good with hourly resistance there. Got a big strong move today. So it does look like me looking for this bearish USD JPY to continue was wrong. It's not yet. Obviously, I would still take that as a short entry, even though it looks very, very bullish. As long as you're not closing dailies above 138.964, then I can still see it potentially moving lower. You take out that, then you will, who knows, right? This thing is so freaking bullish. It's just, I've been looking for a pullback on it for a long time. This was really the only one we got in this entire move. I mean, a 2-day pullback, I don't consider that a pullback. I'm looking for like a 2-week pullback. Go look at this thing on the weekly. That was the only time you've gotten a pullback on this thing since this breakout. And even then, you can see that you didn't really have any big pullbacks. Sideways, 2 weeks pullback, sideways, boom. Yeah. Sucks, man. That would have been a year-making trade right there. But it happened last year. This happened in 2021, near the beginning of the year. But this part over here was this year at the beginning of the year. So you have 2 yearly ranges taken off near the second month of the year. So what I've told you about daily ranges, how the London session typically, not always, but typically puts in the low or high of day in the FX markets. In the stock market, generally, I'll know if the low or high is in by 11 a.m. Weekly highs, weekly lows, generally put in by Wednesday. Monthlies, first week. Quarterlies, first month. Yearly, first quarter. So for a yearly range, your yearly lows typically going to be done in the first quarter. Not always, but it happens enough to where it is an edge. All right? And you can backtest it yourself, which is what I want you to do with everything I say. I want you to check it out for yourself because I'm not really selling anything. I'm just trying to provide you with the things to look at to increase your winning percentage. Good cold water. Excuse me. I didn't mean to yell in the mic. All right, here we go. Moving on. SPX did what we want. Let's see. Euro USD is just looks like dollar, only inverse. We are looking for this thing to get up into this region, and then we could potentially look for new shorts. But it looks like it's finding it now. It hasn't taken out the breakout candles low yet. So as far as it's being a trap, we don't have it yet. I know this is a very sloppy chart, but all these areas are very good areas to look for resistance. You have the 2016 low week support. That's the yearly low weekly support. May of this year support right there. And then your 2017 low. So a lot of big levels right in there. And you're in a descending channel. So, we look for resistance typically in things like this, but we wanted to see it get up off of those areas. Also, one of those levels is going to come in pretty nicely with the 618, which is right in the middle. So the 618 of this decline comes in right next to the May low daily support. So that's the area we were, looking for short side entries. This is still just a pullback until you take out the low, but you can see how it did give you an opportunistic time to take an entry this morning when we tagged daily res. So going back into the intraday chart, that'll clean things up a little bit for you. You see you had your expansion yesterday. This is the daily level. Let me just finish that point and then we'll move on. So you can see how price trades right up into daily res and then reverses. See, these are the levels. These are the levels where I want you guys to place your orders. I want you to scratch literally everything you've learned on YouTube on how to trade. Scratch it all and just follow what I'm saying. I have a lot of people in the Discord and they're there because of one reason. They see that these things work and they work consistently over and over and over again. But anyways, there's your daily. That was the level of resistance to look for. That happened. That's the high of day at the London session. Yes, 3 a.m. in the morning. Set your high of day and then you rolled over. I mean, knowing the fact that the London session usually sets the high or low, knowing that there was daily res right there, you could have damn near top ticked that entry. And you would have. Seeing how yesterday we were watching intraday supply. And when this happened, on this push up, when we tagged the level, I posted it in the Forex room. However, it was late in the day and I wasn't looking to take any new entries. But you can see right there, that's the level I was wanting people to focus on, just so that way they can understand what we're looking at here. Intraday, you're stalled, you break down for 2 hours, you come right back up. What is this right here? That's 3 o'clock. So that's yesterday's London session. Ding, high of day, rolls over. So coming back up into the New York session, we look for pull back into supports or pull back into resistance levels, and that's where we execute our trades. Pulls right back up into daily Heath level. I mean, not daily, sorry. Hourly Heath level, also known as supply, intraday supply. That would have been the short entry. Boom. Down you went. And this was just a pullback up off of that. So, two perfect strategy entries right there on the Euro USD. And the down, in the downside direction, which is what this thing is doing. It is descending, right? You do have order flow is going lower. This is going to be considered a dead cat bounce in an overall downtrend. If you're looking for the trend to continue, you are looking for short side setups. So we'll see if this was the area to get short, or does this find support down here somewhere and then head back up to the median line of the overall channel. All right, so let's get rid of some of these horizontals. Horizontals are more important. Always, they are the most important aspect of this strategy. But trend lines are subjective, but you can basically start to see where you're looking for potential reversal spots. Down here at parity, that's where you bounced. We were talking about it bouncing at parity. When we were at parity, there's the bounce. You're still in the bounce. You haven't taken out the low of the breakout candles low yet. So as long as that is still intact, I still like to see this thing move to the upside. All right. So we're still a little bit bullish on the dollar, a little bit, not the dollar, sorry, on the euro, a little bit bullish on Bitcoin, bullish on the SPX. But they are in areas that we could definitely see it roll right back over, because the ultimate trend is still intact, still very much intact. Now you do have a potential trend change on the SPX, meaning set in the range low, then you took out this high right there. So you have a higher high, then there's your low, and it is higher than this. So you do have a higher high, higher low, higher high sequence. And that's all it takes to make a trend change. But it's also a good spot to look for shorts for the overall trend to continue, because that is your two leg of the move. So looks to me like all we have done is liquidated the swing high of the range, and price is more than likely going to go lower. There is no reason, there is no bullish news out there. We got a higher inflation print. So keep your eyes peeled for shorts. For sure. All right, so what I mean by that is do not try to get long into an area that you know shorts could possibly be loading up. All right, so as far as orders goes on Bitcoin, the trade has more than likely already happened. It's a very small range day. Very small range day, but the expansion has already occurred, and it happened during the Asian session. So we're going to be watching for support, or you guys will be watching for support at 22,679. That's intraday support, and 22,562 is going to be daily. It's going to be an old daily resistance level. So it's not a daily support, it's a daily resistance, but we do know that sometimes resistance will turn into support. But as of right now, it's still resistance. You're just above it. So that's the level to look for potential bounces from, at least. Start closing hourlies below that, then the next level that you're going to be looking for price to get to will be 21,994. This level all the way down here. So essentially, if you lose this daily level here, this is going to be the next target. $22,000. Let's go look at the open interest put to call ratio. Let's make sure I got the SMA pulled off. That's what was screwed up about it the other day. I had a 14-day moving average on it, so it was my fault, not Glassnode's. Yeah, I'm a boomer like that sometimes. Boomer. All right, here we go. Puts moving up as expected as price moves up. puts move up, right? We do have an influx of puts, so that means people are still bearish and they are starting to add to put positions. That's what you want to see typically, right? And then we go over here to open interest. There it is. Nice, big, strong buildup of open interest. We're back up above $10 billion. So, short positions, yes, for sure. You know what I mean? I don't mind looking for shorts up here. My move, what I was ultimately looking for was a breakout of the range we have gotten at. Remember, I wasn't looking for any continuation. As a matter of fact, 25, 29, and 35K areas are where I'm looking to potentially add to short positions because the overall trend is down. And you, even if you got up to $35,000, it would look like you do have a trend change on your hand. And that would make a lot of Bitcoiners very happy and very, very bullish if you got back up to 35K. But that's a very good spot to look for short entries. Open interest is building. As long as open interest is building and we are moving up and the puts are coming back on, then you can look for potential short entries. I still have a very narrow near-term bullish bias, but if you can't get any bullish price action going, like if you can't get above this daily resistance up here, then I will switch my bias potentially Saturday, right? Might be looking for 23,395 shorts if that level holds as resistance. All right, let me answer some questions because that's about all I got to say on everything else. Here, we could do a quick run through on some of these pairs that I have on the watch. Yeah, I mean, that's just down. Can't get anything going. Aussie yen. Aussie yen's moving up. Did we tag supply? Not quite yet. Damn near it, though. Let's be real clear. If USD JPY is getting strength, Aussie yen will do the same. So, looking for daily supply for short entries. Yeah, I still am 95,891, but I definitely got to see a rejection there. I know this is Forex.com. Let's go look at Oanda and see if it tagged it already. I mean, beautiful daily. Look, I mean, you can't get no better than that as far as looking for breakouts. And we were. I mean, look at the support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. Could not break down. That, in a bullish trend tells you to look out. But there's the level on Oanda. Yep, we still didn't tag it. So even though it looks like you are getting a slight pullback, I would not be looking to short this today. I need it to tag 95,915 or back over here on Forex.com 95,891 before I even start looking for shorts. And that doesn't mean I am going to short there. I need to see a bearish reaction. It's an old quarterly supply zone. Boom. See that? There's your quarterly supply. Right there. Last quarter you tested it, closed well below it. This quarter it looks like you're trying to break it. Right? And as long as the yen stays weak, it's a possibility. If we stretch this chart back out, back down to the daily, you're going to see that daily supply is setting nice and perfectly on quarterly supply. So wait for the tag of the level, and then if you get a bearish reaction, you can look for shorts. As long as the yen is still super weak, anything paired against it is going to go higher. I mean, you're about to make fresh yearly lows. That is insane. Just flat out effing sane. Oh, let's see. We'll watch weekly support. We're already under it. And then finally daily support. And we're at it. That's literally all we got on the yen. So that's why I'm, as long as this level's holding, I'm still going to hold my short position. All right. On USD JPY. It is trying to pick a bottom. It is a very risky trade. Always keep that in mind. When you're against the trend, it's a lot more risky and less likely. Good morning, Heath. Good morning. Lots of whales moving coins on exchange today. We can look at that. let's see here. I got addresses above 10,000 Bitcoin here. We have to put a SMA on that. That's disgusting. So, I mean, yeah, you are getting a spike in whale wallets. 10K, these are big whales. I mean, let's face it, 10,000 Bitcoins is a lot of do-re-mi. So, yeah, you're getting a spike. Boop. You've been getting a spike, though, so a lot of these positions are underwater. This is the yearly high. That's the fresh yearly high. That's where we got short. You can see that a lot of big wallets were getting put on. The thing that I don't like about, looking at what addresses with balances is simple, because your big wallets like this, I mean, these are exchanges more than likely. These are exchanges more than likely. I just don't see professionals. Well, I can, but 10,000 Bitcoins at this price right here, that was 31 grand. So do the math. 10,000 times 31 grand. It's quite a bit of money. And for them to just buy it in an obvious downtrend is ridiculous. So be careful looking at indicators like that. It does not mean that's legit buying. It just means that those big wallets are coming online. Good morning, fam. Good morning. Good mornings. A lot of good mornings. Good afternoon. Yeah. Wow. Imagine that. We have a worldwide audience. I am short on pound yen at 165.80 with a stop 166.26. Pound yen. Do you see it on my watch list? Because sometimes I look right over things. I don't. There it is. Pound yen. You're into resistance. Let me see here. 166, 165.80. You're short. Oh, you're short right where you are right now. You're at 165.78. So you took the short based off of daily resistance. I like it. I like it. Here's the thing. Are you closing hourlies above it? Not yet. So, I mean, you typically don't want to see stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's buying pressure. That's the myth. I mean, that will eventually become a target if this resistance holds. Boom. So, I kind of like the setup. I don't like the way price is treating you. You know what I mean? I do like the setup. And then you said 166. What is your stop? 26. Big trade. So that's what you're basing it off of. All right, so let's see what kind of risk reward we're talking here. Oh, you damn. I didn't want that to happen. Stay right there. Now we're looking for 221. So you're looking for a move, something similar to that, down to this range support. I like it. I mean, yeah. I don't take trades with that big of a risk. I'm not as patient as that, because I know I've been doing this for so long. It could literally take 3 days for that to happen, right? It could trade sideways and slowly, no momentum. I mean, you've been in this range for how many days already? So essentially what you're doing is you're taking a short at daily res, which I love. You got your stop setting above range high, which is okay again. And your target is at range lows. Will the trade work? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let's look at some bigger things here. Let's see. You're above the 50, so I don't really like it. That also means you're going to be above the 21 exponential. Yeah, you are well above the 21. So technically, we would be looking for bullish entries on this, not bearish ones. But where you took the trade, nonetheless, is at resistance. And just by doing that alone right there will help you immensely, because you're going to see over time that these entries just work. Now, as far as getting a directional bias, that takes a little bit more finesse, if you will. Even looking to get long things that are above the 21 and the 50 on the R side doesn't always work out, obviously. But over time, it's still successful. So I would much rather you be looking for longs at support, and there is no support in there. So you're just taking a short. If it's going to roll over, because, I mean, this is a big range. Just one big, massive range. So if you were to take, like, say, a fib retrace tool all the way down to there, you are also above the 618 of this expansion. So going from this high to this low, just this move lower on price, that expansion, your 618 matches up perfectly with this level, which, and I don't know why I was even looking at that level. That level is nothing. All right. So, yeah. What I would do is I would watch 4 hour. You get a close here in a minute. If you close a 4 hour candle above your last 4 hour resistance level where you're testing right now, so 9 o'clock, you got 2 hours and 50 minutes left on this close. If this candle closes above that, I would exit the trade. I wouldn't need a full stop. Doesn't mean you will get stopped out. Obviously, I have no clue what price is ever going to do, ever. Nobody can know that. If someone knew what price was going to do, they would absolutely be the richest person on the face of the planet. If I knew what price was going to do, I would put exchanges out of business. All right? I don't. That's why they're in business and I'm not. Which I wouldn't want to be an exchange, but you get what I'm saying. But clearly, even on the 4 hour, you can see the momentum of order flow is bullish, not bearish. You are at the top. You do have a potential head and shoulders forming, but you will need to see it reject here. There is no way to wait. You're positioned right at the perfect spot. Daily resistance for short. I love it. You're just, counter trend. But counter trend works sometimes. I take them all the time. I'm counter trend on USD JPY. So I can see why you wanted to take the short. So keep an eye on that. 4 hour support, resistance right there. If you close above that on this candle, just close the trade. Don't worry about eating a full stop. You know what I mean? Wait for it to actually show a bearish reaction. You're going to get mad if it closes above and it turns out to be a trap and then you get a big bearish reaction. You're going to be mad, but that's trading. You got to check those emotions. We don't know what's going to happen. No matter, even if everything that we want to see happens, it still doesn't mean trade's going to work. I like the trade. I don't like the bias. I don't like my bias either on USD JPY. I don't like it at all. Because, like I said, trying to pick a top is not what we do. We're trend traders. Starting to pull back 4 hour supply. If the yen catches strength, that trade's going to work. All right? But you need the yen to catch strength. You need the yen to get strong more than you need pound to get weak, if that makes sense. Because this thing is at the lows. Just closed the 4 hour candle at the daily support. Close below that, I'm probably going to exit the USD JPY trade if I haven't been stopped out yet. So, hopefully that helps, Danny. Good morning, good mornings. Good morning, Run DMC. Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. You guys rock. Thank you so much for your time. Curious on your view on SPX and BTC. Seems SPX wants to go higher still, but not sure on Bitcoin. I mean, we talked about them both. They're both at what you could consider like critical junctures. Obviously, I don't know if it's going to go up or down. We were looking for a bullish breakout over here. We got it. Now that we've got it, obviously profit taking is what's getting it, some bearishness now because we take profits. So not only us, other people, other professionals take profits. When they get the move they want, they take profits. That's what causes pullbacks at these areas. Plus you have new people with stops there, and you will have new people looking to enter positions there. All right, so you do have an old daily support right there. Did not close above it yesterday. You traded above it, but you didn't close above it. And as of right now, you're an inside day today. You are an inside day. So you just don't have any momentum. Yesterday, you just didn't have any momentum. This was the momentum. And if this was going to continue to be bullish, This is what I would like to see for like 3 or 4 days in a row. Boom, 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 just steady up. We've ran into a brick wall on both Bitcoin and SPX. But to be fair, it's wedging up. I mean, you know where intraday support is. 39.48. That's intraday support. Watch that on an hourly closing basis. If you lose it, then, leave it alone. I don't like getting long also once we're expanded. Once we've already expanded, this is where I usually would be taking profits. I am still holding my long Bitcoin position that I got in at the July low, but I have exited the position on Bitget. So on the Bitget exchange, I currently am looking, to just leaving that open to see if we start running into resistance. Then I'll look for shorts. But you are not breaking out, but you are getting that move. Remember, you're looking for any new shorts on Bitcoin, you're going to watch a daily open. And that puts you right at old intraday support. So a little bit of confluence there. You also have the intraday 21 exponential there. Yeah, I mean, it does look like this thing might be wanting to head a little bit lower. But another good thing that you can do, just to kind of see where you are, is see where you are on this thing here. Like these are outer bound expected ranges. So like if you're up on the top end, you're not looking for bullish entries, are you? No, right? And the same goes for on here, down here. You're not looking for bearish entries, are you? No. So, I mean, just the way price action looks, it looks like you're probably going to see more downside today. I said that yesterday too, and we got upside. I told my team yesterday, we're probably going to see a pullback today. And what happened? Bitcoin made a new high of day an hour later. Nobody knows what price is going to do. You just need a good strategy, a good place to take entries, and keep doing that consistently, and over time you will be profitable. It's as simple as that. Lots of whales moving coins into exchanges today. Yeah. Good morning, SPX. Yeah, we just talked about that. Good morning, Heath. Run DMC. Any thoughts of whether Bitcoin range is now broken or still possibility? Yeah, I mean, it's broken for sure. You've gotten above the swing high, the range swing high, so it's definitely broken. Will Bitcoin continue? I don't know. The way I work, the way that I am a market operator, obviously. Once you take out a swing high, the high probable trade is done. Because when we were down here looking for the breakout, this was like, my first target. The high end of the range. That's where I want to take profits. You are in an overall downtrend. Will it continue? The first level to watch is 22,562. I mean, if you start closing hourlies or 4 hours below that, then you're probably going to see it pull back to the next old daily resistance, which was there, 21,614. It will keep moving down until it finds buyers. When it finds buyers, then it'll form support, and then we can look to get long again. We cannot get long up here. We just can't. There's too many things that says a pullback is inbound. And I don't mean the end, I just mean a pullback. I mean, think about what happened. Since the CPI print that said, was extremely bearish, a bearish print, this thing has done nothing but go straight up. With 1 day, that was bearish. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 candles of just straight up with one bearish in it. So you got bad news and you got a big bullish reaction. So once we take out the range high, I get a little bit more sus, especially since, we got higher inflation. Is the market saying that the market thinks that that's going to be the top? I mean, the top of inflation. If that scenario is correct, then you're going to see it find support and you're going to see it move higher. If that scenario is incorrect, this is a pretty good area to start looking for shorts. You know what I mean? Because you're at the top of the range. And I do expect range-bound price to continue for a very long time. Because that's the way markets work. your cycle is probably done with. This is probably going to be the near-term low for a very long time. And we were counting on it. That's why we got long on the July low. But any thoughts of whether it keeps going or not? That's just a flat out opinion of mine. It looks like it's just been a couple days pullback as of right now. So, since price is drifting up towards the open for the New York session, it could be significant. It could mean that the next move is lower. It could move the next move is lower. So 225 is where I would be looking for intraday shorts. If you're bullish, I would be looking for intraday longs at 22,693. All right, that's all we can do. Can you please share your opinion on Euro Pound and NZD CAD? I do one of them because they're getting really close to coming to the end, and there's a couple more people that want things. If I get it done, and then I'll come back. ETH USD on Coinbase looks just like Bitcoin, only you're on your third day of pullback. ETH was the leading indicator. Essentially, this thing had already broken out Tuesday when we were looking for Bitcoin strength. ETH had already done it. So that was another reason why I was kind of looking for Bitcoin strength, is because ETH had already done it. All right. So right now you're working on the same thing. But here's the thing with ETH. There is no support. Like literally, you just got to wait until the market finds support. Or you can say yesterday is support. There's nothing else. Next area of potential support is all the way down here at 1338.20. And then if you get down there, this looks like, terrible. Is it still a bull flag? I mean, it's shaped up just like one. There's your flagpole, there's your flag. So, yeah, the momentum is on the bull side right now. You just don't have nothing to base an entry on here. So what you can do is, if you're still bullish, wait for price to break out. This means the trade more than likely is not going to be today. It'll be tomorrow, right? You want to see it break out above yesterday's close because that is support. And then you want to see it come back in and check it and see if it can hold as support tomorrow. If it can, then you can look for your bullish expansion. Today is a set on your hands day. Or if you get a pullback down to here, potentially. It's not daily support. It's only intraday support. All right. Is the put to call ratio price action info or just gauge a participant sentiment in the future? No, it is literally, it is all the puts that are being bought across all exchanges. Let me get rid of the SMA here. It is supposed to be all puts that are being purchased across all exchanges, or open interest, if you will. And open interest could be selling or buying. So it could be short option strategies or long option strategies. I don't really, options are different. Just because people are buying puts, it doesn't necessarily mean the market's going down either. And also, they might not be buying the puts. They could be selling the puts. And if they are selling puts, then that means they're bullish. It just means that the put interest is going up. And puts are typically, looked at as bearish, or protection against bearishness, if you will. So, just because we're getting a rise of it, that's pretty stock standard as far as how price action works. When the higher price goes, the higher put to call ratio gets. It's just as simple as that, because people are protecting themselves for when that inevitable pullback comes. But yeah, it's open interest, so it's whenever a put gets either bought or sold, this is supposedly tracking that across all exchanges. There's not a whole lot of crypto exchanges that do options either. I know Durabit's one, but I don't know of any other option exchange. I don't know of any other crypto exchange that does options. So, the source or the cohort is kind of small. The sample size is small from just a few exchanges. But I mean, we just know that. We know that the open interest on puts is getting higher the higher price goes. It's just, that's typical. It's normal. Heath, the lady getter and enemy annihilator. I guess I have a woman already, so I guess that's accurate. All right, can you take a look at gold? Yeah, absolutely. XAUUSD. Oh man, it did not hold. We were looking at it last week because it was into weekly support. Didn't hold. Closed above it. This week you got a nice little push to the upside, and then you're seeing bearish continuation. That's only because the dollar and people think gold suck, I guess. I don't know what else to say. I mean, this thing is getting freaking destroyed. Destroyed. You do still have a weekly support. I believe that is that another weekly support, or is that just a daily support? I can't remember. Weekly support. So you do have a secondary weekly support, and you're at it right now. But I mean, it's probably getting pretty close to the end of its move. If we get that dollar pullback like I was talking about last week, then I think gold will bounce. If dollar continues to go higher, then gold's going to continue to go lower. So it's just one of those things. You are at secondary weekly support. You lose that, then the next area of support is going to be 1617. 1618, sorry. If you lose this, 1618. But be careful. I definitely wouldn't be taking any shorts down here. As a matter of fact, this will be the one. I mean, once you get a wick under this wick, once you get a wick under that, that's where I'd probably be watching for this thing to rotate back to the upside. Because then at that point, you're just stopping out people. I mean, this is a weekly time frame. So that's August the 21st, August the 9th, 2021. So that's literally like almost a whole year of stops you will have completed by getting that. If you get that wick low right there, a pullback is probably going to happen. So if I was going to be a buyer of gold, because I think dollar weakness is going to continue, I would have a buy limit setting right underneath that. Obviously, for a longer term hodl. Not looking for a day trade, just like a longer term, looking for a relief rally, essentially. But I would definitely watch that. Once you get under that, you want to see like some bullish price action start rolling in. If you get to stand in or sit in front of the computer screens like I do, then you don't have to put a limit there. You can just wait and see how price reacts when it gets there. But I would definitely be licking my chops after that happens for a spike to the upside. Weekly charts, this thing is completely stretched out. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, you're oversold on the weekly. And the last time you've seen oversold gold prices was July 30th, 2018. So we'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, I mean, the trend is down. So typically you're going to be looking for resistances to sell into. Yeah, I got you. Rune analysis. Will price go down? Yeah, it will. Rune sucks. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what Rune is. I don't know if this is what you want. You just said Rune and you said it 3 times in a row. Let me try USD. Calculated by TradingView. All right, let's go back to Tether. All right, so it is bad. You were trading at $21. You're now trading at $2. That is an 87% loss. And if you go all the way down to the lows down there, you're going to see that you did a 93% loss. 93% loss on total account. Bad. All right, so will it go down? It's into weekly res, or it's getting close. No, it is. It tagged weekly resistance, and this is going to do what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin continues to be bullish, then this is going to continue to be bullish. Since you are 87% off of the all-time high, you maybe continue higher. But I got news for you. It looks, it looks like it wants to be a short, potentially. So what you need to see is you need to see a daily close above 282. All right? You got to get that. And then you got more resistances like just right above you. This thing's got a lot of work to do. Shorts will be getting added right there. People will be looking to short that today. So let's just get precise with it. Yes, people have shorted that right there. And then you got a bearish reaction. Now you're coming back to it. So this is where shorts are sitting. Will it go lower? I don't know. It's already off 87%. So time to look for shorts, in my opinion, isn't now. It was when we called the highs. When we started telling people to protect their positions. When we lost the bullish trend line, I told everybody, it's time to look for short entries. It's time to take profits. It's time to, look the opposite direction. Now we're at the lows. That's typical retail. Want to short when you're already off 90%. Want to go long when you're up 400%. I don't like it. It looks like most cryptos. It's just going to follow Bitcoin. That's about all anybody can say. So if Bitcoin continues to be bullish, this will too, more than likely. If Bitcoin finds resistance and rolls over for the next couple days, this will too, more than likely. And that's the price at which I would be potentially looking to enter shorts. I wouldn't be because you're above the 50 and the rule stands. If you're above the 50, you're above the 21, then you look for support. So people bought support. The only support they could have bought is right there. But when it was here, that was support. And then you got a bear trap to the downside, and then boom, straight up. See the trap right there, closed below. That got everybody off sides. But that's also tradable, right? It gave you a perfect 2-to-1 to risk the reward. You could take that entry once you take out the trap candles high, especially if you do it the next day. That's a buying signal. Stop below the bear candles low. And then if it's a longer term trade, obviously, it would be more of a swing trade than a day trade. But, look at this. Tell me if the strategy ain't legit. So, there's the trap. Break below, close below support. As soon as you take out that high, the very next day, that's trap confirmed. Buy. Stop. What did this candle do? It went straight to a 2-to-1 risk to reward and then stopped. That is codable, is why. You can code this. If all you do is trade traps, you can code that. That's why it works. This is why. Technical analysis is a self-fulfilled prophecy, but people are looking at the wrong things. They're not looking at the right things. Like, you don't get short when you come into the 21. You wait for a bearish reaction. There's your bearish reaction. There's your trap. There's your signal. Well, there was no resistance here either. We don't use these as resistance. We use horizontals or whatnot. But there's a trap down. Look what happens. Price trades right back up into the trap candle down. It's people people understand it. That this stuff works. It works really good. But yeah, so right now you're bullish. You're just into resistance, so you can't buy it. You have to buy it at support. You can't buy it at resistance. But I wouldn't be taking this short. Even if you take the short and it works, it's still against the near-term trend. The near-term trend is up. The order flow is bullish, and it still is bullish. Thank you so much for the super chat, K4 Liberty, coffee for the airport. Thank you so much, my friend. You guys are the awesomest community on YouTube. I'm pretty sure every YouTuber says that about their people, but you guys rock. You're here consistently every day, and I really appreciate it. we're gonna do a lot more live streams in August. We're gonna start to try to do a lot more live streams in August. I think I got the internet thing situated for now, and we'll see. I gotta do some things for the rest of this week, and then maybe up until Thursday next week, and then I'll be home Friday, and that's when the channel's gonna do a big change. I don't know if I'm gonna be getting up to do these early live streams. We'll probably start them like say around 8 in the morning. The YouTube schedule will probably stay the same, Tuesdays and Thursdays. But we're gonna be doing live streams in the Discord. Tuesdays and Thursdays we'll do live streams on YouTube from 8 to 10ish or something like that, so that way we can actually be live while the trades happen. Because that helps people more than anything. Is actually, why are you taking the trade, where and why? Those things is what helps people. Talking about it in hindsight is also good, but it's not nearly as good as watching it play out in real time. So things are going to change. It's going to be for the better. All right, Tesla. Yep, sorry, Michelle, I was getting to you. As you have known, I'm typing your name in the ticker. Yep, OCD. Or not OCD, what's the other one? Attention deficit disorder, ADD. That's what I got. All right, so moving on up. Found support, but these are the same levels we were watching. Look at this test of support yesterday. Oh, that's yesterday, sorry. What would that be? Tuesday. Test of support. That's a Heath level. That's supply. I mean demand. If you're on the above price, it's demand. Traded right down to it, and that was a phenomenal day trade. I mean, a phenomenal one. And it happened during the first hour. Look at that. Just straight down. Support. Ding, ding, ding. Straight up. Well, not straight up, but up. It looks like it's running out of steam. Like the SPX, like Bitcoin, like other things. You didn't get that tag of that swing high either. And this is multiple days, so it's coming. There's really nothing to do. You're into resistance. So, at this point, you see how that candle reacted, tagged daily res, and then immediately pulled back on the day. So, that looks disgusting. Can't really see it. It would have to been, let me see here. Let me pull this out. Yeah, it was. It was the very open. So the open of the day. Here's the daily open right there. Up. Next 5-minute candle. Up. Tag daily resistance. Instantly pulled back. Sets in new low of day. What time is it? 11 o'clock. So by that time, we know either the low or the high is in for the day. And the low and high was in for the day. Because it traded sideways all day. Never made a new low, never made a new high. The new high came after the market closed, and that was due to earnings. All right. I was listening to a little bit of the earnings call yesterday. I didn't hear anything that was either super bullish or super bearish. They beat on earnings again. If you look here, Tesla usually does a good job on beating earnings. So for the last 5, 6 earnings, 7 earnings, they've been beating. It's a good company to own. It definitely needs to break out, and then this goes to say the same for the other asset. Other was Rune. You got another resistance just right above you. So essentially, what I would probably do is, if I were looking to day trade Tesla, I would look for 721.64. It's a far piece from where price is currently. I don't have Thinkorswim pulled up, so I don't know what the inside of the day is doing right now. But if you get a tag of this level down here, you want to see that hold. And then my target would be 752.29. So intraday on Tesla, this is what we want. That would be a nasty pullback. So I don't even know if you're going to get that today. You have 2 intraday support levels that you can watch also, right? Any one of these areas could potentially be support. So just don't be quick to fire that buy signal out there. This would be the real legit area where I'd want to see price pull back to before I targeted 750-229. If you open above 750-229, then it's hard to say where it's going to go. There's just no support. Would I short this after they just beat on earnings yesterday? No. No, I would not. All right. Hopefully that helps, guys. Heath, how can I join the Discord? There's a link in the description on all my videos. What you want is the Patreon, and it's the hedge fund tier. It is hidden behind a paywall. So yeah, it's the hedge fund tier, and you can find that link on every single one of my videos. You might have to hit more because the way YouTube does things now. Here, let's just go into a video so I can walk you through this briefly. So we're live right now. Let's go to last week's live stream, or Tuesday's live stream. We'll pause it so we don't have to hear anything. If you look right here, you're going to see that the video's title and then the video's description, which I rarely ever put a video description, right here. You just click more. It brings down this thing. If you'd like to support the channel and all that stuff, there's links there. This is the one you're looking for. Oh, also, guys, I forgot to say this, but I have switched to Bitget. I now use them as my exchange. If you want to try them out, you're going to like them. Their platform is really good to look at. There is no KYC, so you can go straight from wallet to exchange, straight from exchange back to wallet, seamlessly and slick. It's very easy. The platform is fantastic. Executions are great. I absolutely love the change. Click the link right there. Use referral code XTSC. That's X-Ray Tango Sierra Charlie when you sign up. And yeah, you'll love it. They have copy trading. They have coin margin futures. They also have Tether futures. And they have so many assets to trade with Tether. And on the coin margin side, they have several, like the big ones, ETH, Bitcoin, Litecoin, things like that you can trade on the inverse side. So that way you can literally use Bitcoin to take positions and get paid in Bitcoin or lose Bitcoin, depending on if you win or lose the trade, obviously. But description, link. It's a new sponsor. It's the first sponsor ever on this channel. I get sponsorship deals all the time. I always ignore them. When I got this one, I decided to look into the exchange. I loved everything about it. They have the most cheapest fees than any other exchange. They have the most cheapest fees than any other exchange. Bitget. Link in the description. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you for being here. Next time you'll see me will probably not be next week. Hopefully I can get back in time to do some live streams, but we'll see. But the week after that, you got me. Thank you guys so much for being here. You all have a fantastic day. Make sure you trade safe. Make sure you trade smart. And as always, happy trading, everybody.